Well. Look who came back around and decided to listen to another episode of the 1 Ounce Pour. It's season 2 episode.
Who the fuck knows?
But the exciting part about today's episode is that we have Kaity coming to you. I was going to say live, but we're not live. And unbeknownst
She's
to
live
Kaity,
with us.
I actually edit this show. So... she's like, oh, long-time listener, first-time caller. Do you edit your show? Huh? Buddy, you edit any of this garbage down to something that's, actually listenable? I think the only episode Katie's listened to was our first episode where you could hear people, like, banging on the table and breathing really heavy into the mic, and it was great.
Oh,
So
you're being nice. I did not listen to any. I think I've listened to snippets while Bailey listens to it.
The honesty is what we need to make sure we cultivate in this episode today, because I don't want any lies between us at all. Like, for instance, here's a lie. I've been texting like band suggestions and like how you bins to the wrong number. Because Kaity gave me the wrong phone number and decided now was a good time to give me the correct phone number.
Well done, Kaity.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I have the wrong number for you because I definitely texted some random person a photo of a Vespa, and then in all caps, should I buy this?
Oh,
I just never heard back.
What?
Dude, if I
my
get that text message from some random number, I'm like, yes, you should.
You know what? Just so that everybody knows, if you're trying to decide if you should buy a Vespa, the answer is yes. You should always buy a Vespa. Make your life great with a Vespa. This show is not sponsored by Vespa, but it should be. We should tag Vespa in this.
We should have a lot of sponsors, Drew, but unfortunately
we have none.
we don't.
We have none. Anyway,
this
welcome
episode
to the 1
is brought
Ounce
to you
Pour.
by OnlyFans.
Gross. Stop that. And to start the show off, like usual, raise your ounce, chin chin.
I don't know what that means, but I'm going to sip my little...
It means just drink your drink.
I got a tequila lemonade.
I like her on the show. We need to have her back.
I know. Well, the problem, I think, is going to be that Katie's going to outwit us and make us look really stupid, and people are going to be like, oh, you know what? We should listen to Katie's podcast. And then she's just going to scoop up all my listeners, including my grandma, and they're just going to listen to Katie's podcast, which will be great. I'll listen to it. Unlike you not listening to me, I will listen to you. I promise.
You never listened to my old podcast, Drew.
Oh, did I tell you, just to kick this off, first off, I did.
I know you did.
I did, and I immediately hit the unsubscribe button.
Oh, fuck you.
Well, I mean, like I said, we're going to cultivate honesty in this show. Speaking of cultivating honesty, Kaity, did I go all the way to Portland from Salt Lake City to see your band play?
You did, and it was the best surprise.
I did.
I mean, I knew you were coming, but seeing you, as we were loading out, I was just like...
It was wonderful.
What a friend.
It was wonderful. I was still kind of hesitant to see you because, again, I've been texting somebody...
just ghosting you. I had been ghosting you for years.
I'm like, wow, Kaity is just not interested in talking to me at all. This is dark.
And some poor random is like, who the fuck keeps texting me?
They're probably really excited. I was giving them really good band suggestions. Like, I'd hear a group and I'd be like, man, I feel like Kaity would really like this. And I spam your husband so much with like metal, where he's like, I don't want this anymore. I think he actually did text me like, stop, unsubscribe. I don't want that. So I was like, oh, I'll move on to his wife. Here you go, Kaity. Here's a bunch of...
When Drew would do that to me, I'd just be like, yeah, fuck that. You're going to keep getting it, buddy.
Oh, man. But that segues perfectly into not that conversation. I actually did get to go see Kaity play in a rock band in Portland, and it was phenomenal. Kaity is amazing. She plays the bass, and she plays it phenomenally. And I don't mean to make this like too weird, but you know me, I'm going to make it weird. You're not like a very flamboyant human being.
No.
Right? I mean, I feel like I kind of
Really?
am. And you're kind of more on the, I'm not super flamboyant. You're really funny and witty and stuff. But when you got up on stage, I was like, holy shit. That was amazing. You were like, boom. Bigger than life up there. It was so cool to see. And I know I say this every once in a while on the show. You don't know this, Katie, because you don't listen to the show. But every once in a while, I'll say, like, you know, it's interesting when friends invite you to do stuff or to see them do their activity, and you have to kind of pretend, and you're like, oh, that was neat. Not the case with Katie at all. Like, it was so cool. I mean, I was like wagging my tail, super excited. I was the groupie up front taking all the pictures. It was so cool to see you guys play.
Did you have a tail like
best...
George Alexander in
oh, gross.
Shallow Hal?
Don't mention that. That gave me nightmares. That wasn't supposed to be a horror movie, but that turned into one. What were you going to say, Katie? I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're good. I heard my best friend like put you in a headlock during that show, and she was so embarrassed about it.
Your best friend put me in a headlock?
Or like a jujitsu move?
Oh, no. Yeah, she was from the coast, right? And she did jujitsu. I asked her to do that. I was so stoked. It was like meeting all these cool new people, and she was like, oh, yeah, I do jujitsu. And I was like, no way. Like, you got to show me a cool move. And she did. And I was like, hell yeah. That's the thing.
Like, uh-oh,
nobody should ever
weird.
be
Like,
embarrassed around me. I'm the most embarrassing human. I just like vacuum everybody else's embarrassment out. It's all good. Well, now you need to tell her to listen because we just gave her a cool shout out right there. Mm-hmm. So
I will.
Yeah.
Don't
you
mess
should
with
ask her
about jujitsu sometime.
I know. Well, give me your contact.
You need more women. That's why I wanted to be on the show. I was like, has it just been Drew's sister so far?
Yeah.
Yeah, has it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you shot down my guest idea, so yes, it has.
Yeah, we don't need your guests, Tom. It has been more difficult. It's not that I don't have female friends. I just don't have female friends that are willing to spend an hour talking to me. And Tom.
That's fair.
I think Tom's deterring people. I don't know.
Probably.
So, I don't want to make your hobby about music unless you want it to
you're
be.
Good.
But
whatever.
Katie, what's your hobby?
I have a few.
Okay.
Okay.
Why don't you pick one? Oh, good. You have a few.
Yeah. I'd say my few are art is my longest one. And then music, second longest. Playing bass, although I started with flute. D&D is my most recent one.
Nice.
So
yes.
Those are my kind of three. And all of them I feel like I have interesting relationships with because I feel like they all started with trying to connect with other people.
Ooh. That's awesome because that's how a lot of my hobbies have started.
Oh, interesting.
So start off maybe with music. How did you get into music to connect with somebody?
Yeah, so my dad was a guitarist in a band in Orlando. What was it called? Hokum. My uncle was also in the band. He was the drummer. My dad was the rhythm guitarist. And my brother was really musically talented and learned how to play drums and was kind of a prodigy.
Really?
Not prodigy, but he was just very gifted.
He was okay
at it. And so I wanted to like participate, and my dad played guitar, my brother played drums, so I decided to play bass when I was 13, and I taught myself out of a little book.
Now, was this pre or post the flute?
This was post the flute by like a couple years.
And what led to the transition? I thought the flute was in now.
Well, at the time there were no flutes in jazz band.
Oh.
And I wanted more music. So I wanted to join the cool jazz band and also be cool in rock and roll. And I loved Nirvana, and there's no flute in Nirvana. My crush played guitar, so obviously I had to play bass to get closer to him, which I did. And I ended up dating him eventually.
Ooh.
Nice.
Although he did fire me for a guy, so.
Oh, man.
Fire me as a bassist.
What was his name?
His name's Oliver.
Oliver. You know what? Fuck you, Oliver. You missed out on a great bassist.
Unless that band went on to be Bring Me the Horizon, then that would kind of...
Bring me... What is that?
Seriously? You don't know Ollie Sykes? Bring Me the Horizon. His name is Oliver Sykes.
No.
That's right about our age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that's why
I'm going to look up that band. If they suck, I'm going to rub it in your face so hard.
you got to choose the right album. They're like sound different on every album.
Oh, okay. Cool. So you got in the...
No, that's not this guy.
Oh, you got out of the
He's
flute.
now ungoogleable.
You got into the bass.
Oh.
And then did you stick with it for a while? What was the story there?
Yeah. I played in jazz band in middle school, and then in high school I played in jazz band, and I joined a swing and big band. That was
Ooh,
Nice.
yes.
It was like some high schoolers and then mostly retirees on the coast.
So
That is awesome.
this was a group that fucks for
Oh, yeah.
sure.
Yeah, we were playing every Thursday night to a group of geriatrics.
Yes.
Who were waltzing and dancing to the music of their youth.
You
Yeah.
gotta mark off your community service hours with that.
No.
Oh.
No. I should have, but it was
Yeah.
good on my resume.
Yeah.
But no, I did it because my friend was the trumpet player for them, so I just kind of went along with it and hung out.
Nobody you were trying to date in that group.
So how many Big Bad Voodoo Daddy covers did you play?
None, because that's way too recent.
Wow.
It was more Glenn Miller and, actual swing music,
Yeah.
like 90s revival.
I didn't know if the high schoolers were like, we're playing this and we're playing it now.
I mean, I definitely listened to some of that because I liked that music for a while. But no, what is that called? Not Auf Wiedersehen, but Guada. I can't remember now.
I don't even know where you're going with it. So
No idea.
It's Bittershein, Auf Wiedersehen. Anyway, doesn't matter.
hey, fair enough.
Nice.
Yeah. So you left flute. You joined a jazz group. You joined another jazz group. You joined a big band group.
Yeah. Oh, I also played in pit orchestras for local community theater.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you
So
were
nothing cool.
you were a gal about the town with this bass, huh?
Oh yeah.
Were you known around the town? Like, hey, we need a bass player. And then they'd be like, wait, I got someone. Call up Kaity. And then they'd start dialing your number. And then halfway through, you'd be like, I know this isn't a real number. She gave me a fake number. And then they'd call and it'd be somebody else.
Yeah. No, I think people knew me, but only if they were like over 60.
Oh.
I was popular with that crowd. As far as the local like bands, no.
So when did you become the famous bassist Kaity?
I guess it was like 5 years ago-ish. I was living here in Southern Oregon, and Bailey, my husband, started a band with one of his students, and they were looking for a bass player, and I was like, I'll do it. So I started playing with that band. They're called The Music of Frank Ellis. That kind of got us into the music scene because it's tiny, and that's how we met the Shaky Harlots, which is the cool band that you saw.
Yes.
And yeah, so they kind of made friends with them, just because we sort of, I loved their band. Like, they were my favorite band locally. And they liked me, so it worked out. When
Nice.
their bassist at the time was like blackout drunk every concert and like just into some shady shit, and the bassist before that was like this kind of like fascist shitbag, like...
Wow.
I'm sure it's just a mixed bag, Russian roulette style, when you're going out and trying to find band members.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know how they know each other. Like, my guess is drugs.
Yay.
Happy.
So anyway, drugs brought a lot of your band members together.
That might be mean. That might be unfair. I just know that the last
Truth
couple
hurts
of
sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know. I think their last bassist sort of disappeared, and they liked me as a person and liked Bailey as a person and a guitarist, so they invited us to join.
That is exciting. And are you still doing that?
No.
You've decided Rockstar life is not for me.
Yeah, I stopped. So Wednesday was my last official gig with the Shaky Harlots. We played on the side stage at Brit Music Festival, which was like a very big deal in Southern
Oh my
Portland.
God. Yes, it is.
Yeah, and we opened. Well, okay, so we opened. We weren't the openers, but we played on the side stage before the Psychedelic Furs
Oh, no
and
way.
and X, or the band called X.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've never heard of the band called X, which I don't know, but I know who the Psychedelic Furs are.
Yes.
Yes.
And the Psychedelic Furs guitarist, who's not an original member, but he's very cool, actually used to be the guitarist for Joanna Newsom. He
Wow.
watched our whole set, and he loved us, and he talked to us after, including to me, and he followed Bailey on social media.
Oh my God. This is
I know.
you guys are very famous. Nobody famous follows the 1 ounce pour. So
Not yet.
not yet. Well, not yet.
Actually, I got somebody famous that follows me on my personal TikTok. So
Well,
give me
how
about
does
15.
how does that help me right now, Thomas?
Just message him.
I was going to
should.
say I can DM him.
There we go.
Yeah, DM.
There we go.
She may want to be on.
Well,
and
I
she
gotta
may
say-
be one of the.
Cheers, though, to your retirement
Thank
from
you.
the band. 'Cause
Thank you.
Actually, I was going to ask you, and feel free not to go into this question if you don't want to. But my question was, how does it feel being our age and being in a band? Because that's a lot. That's a lot to take on. I know. I mean, you got to see me bomb at comedy, and I did
Oh,
that.
it was great.
Yeah, whatever.
I loved
I did that for a whole year, and I didn't even have kids. Ellie was pregnant with Layla, but I didn't have kids or anything, and it was still very rough to go out and do it once a week and put the time in and like prep for it and everything like that. I can't imagine taking it on a grander scale of doing it in a band. I mean, what was that like for you?
Yeah, it broke me. I'm working 40 hours a week already. And then in 2 bands,
Oh,
I added it up at one point, and I was work plus bands was adding up to like 60 to 80 to more hours a week of, work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though the band stuff is usually fun, it's still work and it's not relaxing. So
yeah.
yeah, I was like so tired and so anxious. I went to my doctor and I was like, I need new anxiety meds, or like just up my dose. Just like help me, I'm dying.
Well, because even if it's fun, it's still a ton of work. And you guys were traveling too, right? I mean, you guys were all over the Pacific Northwest, right?
We did a little mini tour, which was really fun, and I had the week off from work for that, so that wasn't so bad. But then we were doing these weekend shows in Eugene and in Portland, and that's like a 2.5-hour drive to Eugene. It's like a 4.5-hour drive to Portland.
Yeah.
For like no pay, and they were fun, but it was just like I'd be tired for a week. I'm too busy, which is what my doctor said. He was like, she asked great questions, and she's like, yeah, this isn't really a medication problem. This is like a schedule problem.
This is an overworked problem.
You need to dial it back.
Yeah. I'm like, well, I need money, so I'm going to have to dial back the band, but I'm going to miss it. Like, our last show was so much fun. This little, like, I don't know, I'm bad at telling ages of kids, but like maybe 15-year-old girl wanted her picture with me.
What?
Her mom, her and her mom came over, and her mom's like, can we get a picture with you? And she's a
man.
bassist. And I was just like, oh, my heart.
Oh, bless your heart. That probably was a moment you should have framed or something. Did you give her an autograph too?
No.
Oh, that would have just set it apart. Was this pre-show or post-show?
This was post-show.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was going to say, if it was
And I
pre-show, you could have flicked a pick right at her or something cool.
Yeah. It was so cool. During the show, I heard someone yell, I love the bassist. I'm pretty sure I heard that.
Oh, you know what?
Women love me.
Don't let all this get to your head, okay?
No.
All right.
No, I don't. I don't think I'm
You
very
should,
good.
though.
And
You're
so
fucking amazing.
Thank you. But
Whoop, whoop.
okay, I'm not. It's fine. I'm fine. But I feel like in rock music, it's just mostly men. And so it's like whenever I play out, women and girls react so strongly to me being there and playing an instrument that it's always really special for that reason. So that's definitely been the most fun part about it. But I'm still in my other band, but we don't play as much, and it's not.
So would you say that
small.
that's more of your hobby band then? Like you had your professional band and now you have your hobby band?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, yeah. I'll be band mom for the Shaky Harlots.
Just pack all the Ziploc lunches and, all right, you guys be safe.
Yeah.
So
Here's your
speaking of, well, I mean, we could target this to little girls. Nope. I immediately regret saying that out loud.
Glad you said that, Drew, and not me. That's on you, bub.
I meant like we could target this message to little girls.
Oh,
this
yeah,
question
sure.
could be more of like a...
We're definitely listening to 1 ounce pour.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, all the time. Yeah. I'm definitely digging this hole in. Whew. Okay.
Be louder, Drew.
Oh, that's weird. I just saw the FBI start listening.
And with that party van, I'm out.
If you were
Yeah.
to talk to any gender or any age and say, hey, person, this is how you should get into playing the bass in a band specifically and like representing yourself in the band. So not just like go buy a bass and practice and join a band, but like you talked about it meaning so much to you being a female on the stage and seeing the reactions. What would somebody that wants that, right? Wants to change the rock scene, wants to be influential to a group. What would you say for them to do to get there?
Yeah, I guess I just say to start doing it, and like it's not comfortable to start because it's awkward, and like I felt very, very shy. But find bandmates who you can trust and be comfortable being around, and just play out, because like that creates community. It like you meet different people and bands that you like, and people want to see you. I don't just identify as a woman either. I also identify as non-binary. So it is cool too to not just be like a cis woman playing.
Yeah.
And also I will say that people make very weird assumptions. And so be ready for the assumptions because they come. So one thing I get is I had one person assume I was the singer of the band. I have a lot of people assume I'm the singer because women can't play instruments, obviously. And then, and then another time, someone just assumed I was the singer of the Shaky Harlots because they knew Shaky Harlots had a female singer. I was like, no, there's more than one of us in the band. And they're like,
wait,
oh,
there's
God.
2 women in this band? Oh, God.
I had another person, I said, we have a female singer. And she's like, oh, so it's a girl band. I'm like, no.
A girl
weird.
band.
You get weird comments. Like I can't imagine being like what other people put up with, but it's funny.
It is kind of fucked up that you could probably go on Spotify right now and type in girl punk and like a bunch of punk bands that have like one woman in them will pop up, like the Distillers, right? I mean, it's one female singer and the rest are dudes or whatever, but...
The Interrupters, same thing.
It's like if you type in dude punk, it's just probably going to take you to a punk page or something,
Yeah.
but...
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to
was
get
just talking about this, it's
representation.
like a boy band is like in sync, but a girl band is just any band
With
that
girls.
has women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty messed up now that, it's kind of just put it on the table like that.
Well, on that note, I actually have a question for you. Is there any female artists, like, or female groups that were influential to you, or you coming up, or now?
Yeah, definitely. It's funny because I actually grew up pretty sexist against women in rock and roll because rock and roll was so male dominated that I was just like, women shouldn't.
What's that
Which is
girl
awful.
doing there?
That
Janis
is
Joplin,
internalized-
go back to the kitchen. What are you doing revolutionizing rock and roll?
Oh my god, some serious internalized sexism there. But no, I did love Fiona Apple growing up. She was one of my favorite artists. And then as a little later, I discovered the Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
Oh yeah.
With
man.
Parno. I think Talking Heads bassist is a woman, and I loved them.
Who doesn't
so
love the
it's-
Talking Heads, though? Like, can we take a
I know.
moment? I feel like we're about to discover something about Tom. Do you love the
mean,
Talking Heads?
Honestly, I've never listened to him.
Oh, my God.
They're pretty
Jesus,
old.
Mary and Joseph.
You didn't know who Bring Me the Horizon is, man.
Okay. I bet if I walked into a crowd and if I said, hey, crowd, sing me a Bring Me from the Horizon song.
It's Bring Me the Horizon, and we're going to
Whatever.
find this out.
Everybody
see who
in the
has-
crowd would be like, what? And if I said, sing me a Talking Heads song, people would be clamoring to either do Burning Down the House or Psycho Killer or Take Me to the River or any number of their hits.
Hold on here.
I don't want you to research your band that
Okay,
only
so
you know about.
Talking Heads has almost 8 million monthly listeners.
Okay.
Bring Me the Horizon, almost 12.
And yet I've never heard of this band.
I've never heard of them either, but they're signed to RCA Records and Columbia Records.
Okay, you know what, Tom?
They're a big deal.
I'm very open to new music, so I will look them up and never tell you if I actually like them or not. So,
I don't like Mac
you
Miller,
know.
man. I'm still getting over that one.
I don't like Mac Miller. I'm sorry. And I'm not going to apologize for that, even though I just did.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to apologize.
There's some people that I can't get into their music. Katie's not one of them.
Mac DeMarco?
Mac Miller. I do like Mac DeMarco. He's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah, I like his kind of psychedelic, weird, twangy rock. I don't know how you'd describe it.
stoner rock, I guess.
Okay.
Stoner indie. Chill stoner indie.
Oh, chill stoner indie. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. So now that we're super off course, which is on par for this show,
Yeah.
if you listen, you'll find that out.
This is a good time to say you're a Mac Miller fan, Katie.
I don't know who that is.
That's
Really?
good. That's okay. He's a kind of all right hip hop artist.
I was going to say, you probably only listened to his early stuff, didn't you?
I actually honestly haven't listened to a whole lot of any of his stuff. Anytime it comes on, I just skip it.
You should give his newer stuff before he died a try.
Before he died, like there's stuff after he died.
Actually, they do keep releasing because his family has like a boatload of music and they keep posthumously releasing it.
I feel like that's just not what people would want. Like I feel like if they wanted to release it, they would have released it, kind of thing. What if one of
I'm
his
stoked.
what
If
is
I get famous after I die, I'm stoked.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me ask you this, Katie.
I'll
If
be
you
dead,
if
but-
you got famous, right? And you had all your music that you personally released out in the ether, and then you died, and I had control of all of your music, like the weird stuff you did, where you were just like hammering on your bass and screaming into a microphone for 20 minutes. Would you want me to release that?
If I liked you, which I
If
do,
you liked, oh my god! You
And
would
it
have
made
given
you
me your
money.
real phone number if you liked me. Is that what you're saying?
if it made you some money, I feel like I'm dead.
Okay, no, that's
It
fair.
wasn't hurting any other family members, like
That's fair.
I will say this though, his stuff he has released or his family has released posthumously is actually really good.
Oh,
too.
you know what?
Yeah.
Again, I will
Nice.
try and listen to an entire song of his and let you know.
Yeah.
Actually, I won't, even if I like it. So, I feel like we just like dabbled on this whole, and I'm sorry for pressing on it, and you can be like, move on. But
you're fine.
like this intrigues me. This like, you have a stage, right? And you're up there, and you have the ability to project your identity onto a whole crowd. What goes through your mind before you get up on stage? Because that sounds super nerve-wracking to me. like, I'm about to show everybody who I want them to see, and I'm going to do that by using this platform. Yeah, what goes through your mind?
I don't know. I feel like I often dress more feminine than I do in my day-to-day life because, first of all, I feel like femme identities are like less represented in rock music, so I like generally wear dresses, but then I'll, wear Converse or Doc Martens or something, but mostly I'm just trying not to fuck up.
Just Make that a point.
Fair enough.
Here we
Just
go. Don't fuck up.
This up. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think about it that much as far as like a performer. I just kind of try to jump around a little bit and not just be a cardboard cutout up there. I don't know. Honestly, bassists get ignored, and I'm very happy with that. Like, people aren't paying a ton of attention to me, so
You're not up there just being Geddy Lee, just making sure everybody's focused on you.
nope.
All right.
Nope.
Fair enough.
I'm trying to be like the least energetic person on stage. If, other people are like huge energy, I'll like kind of jump around a little. But if other people are kind of just like hanging out, I'm not going to be the weirdo bassist, like freaking out, playing my like quarter notes. Like,
Oh my God. But see, I know that this is just because I know you and Bailey, right? But when I saw you guys play, I was like, this is the most movement I've ever seen out of you guys. Like, you guys were like going crazy. And it's not that you guys don't move as humans in general, but it's that you guys are definitely moving around. You're known for being moving people. So,
yes,
but you were taking it to that next level. And
we were.
I gotta say, Kaity, you were amazing. Everything.
Thanks.
But since Bailey's not here to defend himself, I feel like we need to take a moment to focus on the fact that you live with him, so you can either tell me if I'm kind of on the money on this or not.
Okay.
Does he practice his guitar faces in the mirror? Because he went through a whole field of expressions while which was amazing, by the way. I felt like I was there with him, like he was making love to the guitar and I was just filming it or something. He was just making all these faces, like he's like, yeah, oh, yeah, like just going crazy. I was like, this is brilliant. He was emoting very well. So were you.
He emotes a lot.
But he was emoting a lot. So much so that I had to look up the word emote so I could use it in a sentence to describe what Bailey does on stage. So he doesn't practice these emotes in the mirror? No. Oh, dang it.
No.
You could have made my entire night by lying to me and saying like, yeah, every morning he wakes up, brushes his teeth, then he just pretends like he's playing guitar and then like looks at himself.
No.
All right.
No. Wow. He tries to be natural about it.
Okay. Fair enough. So not to yank you out of your musician's brain here, but you're such an interesting person that I want to make sure that we kind of get all of the angles of Kaity, because there's a lot. I gotta throw out the traditional 1 ounce pour question, because it's, I think, Tom and I's favorite question, which is, when has that hobby ever gotten you in trouble? And you got to be detailed.
That's a great question.
Detailed. Give us a juicy story. Don't be like, oh, I got my fingers hurt from playing the bass so much.
I don't know if my hobbies ever really got me in trouble. I'm very trouble avoidant.
Okay.
Nothing
So
wrong with that.
I was always a teacher's pet. I would have great shame getting in trouble. So,
okay. You were never like playing the bass and like kick somebody off the stage, Sparta style, or anything like that, or no juicy stories on being a bass player in a jazz quartet.
No Doc Martens to the face of somebody getting a little too close.
No, the only thing I can think of is I did used to forge like class skipping signatures.
Ooh, okay. And why?
To go work on the yearbook.
Oh my God, Kaity. Wow. I thought you were going to go like, oh, because I wanted to go smoke weed behind the dumpster with my jazz quartet. No, you were skipping one class to go to another class?
Yeah, well, it was also just a hangout. It was a nice hangout. The journalism class was sort of social.
So uneventful. I mean...
But yeah, I actually got in trouble because, like, I skipped so much and they never, like, addressed it until one day they were like, Kaity has too many absences, and, like, called my mom. And, like, this was the first she had heard about it. And also they, like, let me skip a year of math, but I was, like, in danger of not graduating because like they let me like go too far ahead. It was bizarre. I don't even know.
Where was this?
I guess that's the only time. I was just like, I was really into forging signatures. I would forge signatures for other people.
Wow. You would have been a good person to know in high school then.
Yeah, because I could just copy signatures. I actually used to do it for my mom, like, all the time.
Off the record, I've got a few baseball cards I'm going to send up to you, and I'm going to need you to just mark on those if you can. Do a little bit of research because I need to send those off to the accreditation agency just to make sure it's legit. So just take a little bit of time on them.
Because I have terrible handwriting. I can't even forge my own name. My signature looks different on everything. So
Yeah.
that kudos on you. You would have been a great person to know in high school. I would have had you forge a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I would have no qualms. I
Good.
never questioned the like morality or getting in trouble. I was just like, it is fun to forge signatures.
I feel like, and this is maybe not a good description of you, but I feel like if there was a bank heist, you would plan it all, get us the weapons, get us the getaway car, and then be like, don't ever talk to me again.
Aw, that's so nice.
Yeah. I feel like you're just like you're so helpful, but at the same time, like no questions asked. Like don't involve me past what I just did. Good luck.
That's fair.
Yeah. So no good stories there. Again, gonna edit all that out.
Hey, it's not my fault I didn't get in trouble. I could have gotten in trouble.
Thank you for saying that and not being like, it's not my fault you're a bad host who can't ask correct questions. So, yeah. This is as far as my probing goes, by the way, so don't expect anything too deep for the rest of the show. Going on to our next hobby, what do you want to talk? I kind of want to veer you toward your amazing art skills.
Okay.
Can we go that way?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, great. And I'll like edit in my daughter asking that question right about here.
Hi, Lucas. How are you such a good drawer?
Aw, just practice and my mom taught me.
Ooh. Talk to us about your amazing art. I was lucky enough to have Kaity send me over an entire Google Drive of all of her art. And
it was like 800 pictures.
It was,
I was like, here
amazing.
You go.
I spent way too much time just like scrolling. It's almost like a history lesson on your art too, because it starts with like you taking weird pictures of your hands and then all of a sudden it blossoms into amazing art. And yeah, it was really cool to kind of go down that path. Where did you get started in this process of art in general?
Kind of like before I can even remember, because my mom was an artist when I was very little. She went back to college and got a bachelor in fine arts. So our house was very artistic. She had art all the time. She did summer art camps for neighborhood kids that I would go to. I was very into drawing. I drew like 1,000 angels and animals. And then in middle school, I got like more serious about it and started being more realistic. And in high school, it's funny because like my mom's a great artist and I was really good. Like for my age, I could draw really, really well. I wanted the kind of praise that was like, oh my God, you're so amazing. Like what a daughter I have. Like, how are you so talented and amazing? But I would show my mom like this drawing that was like probably pretty incredible. Like if most people produced this, they'd be like, holy shit. And my mom would be like, cool, baby. And like, go back to her show.
Just keeping you humble, huh?
Yeah. And I was just like, tell me what's wrong with it.
So
I'd be like, well, the nose is a little off center. Like,
would you classify this as what drove you in art was mommy issues?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely mommy issues going on.
Well, thank you to your mom for constantly giving you the shoulder, making you just constantly be better because your art's great.
I was going to say, listening to that story, I don't feel so bad about pushing my kids in hockey. So yeah, thank you.
No, I mean, like, yeah, it's legit. Like, if she's not genuinely impressed, like, don't fake it. She was just kind of like, cool, you've done this before. Like, whoop-de-doo.
Another drawing. All right. We're out of fridge space. I don't know what you want me to do with this. Like, sorry.
I'd give them drawings for Christmas presents, and then just like watch the drawings just like get put in a drawer.
Oh, hold on. Shit. I have a great Christmas present story. So
that's the one with Brandon.
No. Oh, I already told that. No, this is even better than that. I was in middle school, and I think if you would have listened to our past shows, you know I'm into ceramics a lot, and I made this ceramic dragon whistle. It was like, yeah, it was really cool. I thought it was amazing. It was the size of like a Nerf football, and it had multiple keyholes on it, so you could like, send different tunes out, and it was just this like cool looking dragon, right? Our teacher fired them, but in the kiln, but because of the resources of the school, we didn't have any glazes to put on the clay.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, the art department got very low funding.
Apparently,
at a Utah school. Yeah, I know. So instead, in her ingenuity, which kudos to her, she brought in shoe polish. And you could use shoe polish on it. So I'm setting this up, okay? Because my dad's response is very spot on, and I don't blame him at all. So anyway, this is a Nerf-sized brown object, and there is a coil of a dragon on this Nerf-sized brown object. And I put it in a bag, and I gave it to him, and like, I wanted to play it cool. I wanted him to like open the bag up, pull it out, and go like, oh my God, who made this? Wow, is this also a whistle? Boop, 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 boop. How cool. My son made this? Wow. Instead, I didn't put any like notes or anything like from your son or anything like that. So I don't know what his mind went to, but he opened up the bag and he goes, what the fuck is this shit? And my brain was like, oh God, he thinks this is trash. Like, this is not a cool. He literally thought it was shit, like actual poop doo-doo in a bag. Because, and again, I'm not blaming him because it is a brown object the size of a Nerf football, and it is a coiled dragon on it made by a middle schooler in a unmarked bag.
In shoe polish.
In an unmarked bag. And there's like a family joke in my, like if you don't tell somebody what you want for your birthday, the joke is like, oh, do you want poop on a stick? Right? That's a joke. Nobody ever follows through with that, obviously. No one's going to shit on a stick for you. But I'm sure that's what's racing through his mind. Like, someone he went through with the joke. There's shit in a bag. He opened it up. What is this fucking shit? I was devastated. Oh, God, I'm just going to sculpt dicks from now on. So, yeah.
That could have been another career choice for you there, Joe.
I feel you, Katie. I feel that whole, like, just love me. The clear difference here is that mine actually looked like shit. Yours clearly was
dude, see, and I have kind of the reverse. Like, I am not artistic. And I would bring home just these god-awful things from, like, art class. My parents would hang on to them for years. I'm like, you can throw it away. It will not hurt my feelings. That looks like shit. And they're like, no, it looks great. I'm like, no, it really doesn't. I appreciate the love, but no, this looks like garbage. So it's okay.
Honestly, the underlining tone here is, our parents were hard on us. We turned out great. Tom's parents were very supportive, and he still turned out like this.
Oh, dude. Let me tell you.
Clearly, you got to be very not supportive to your kids.
There was certain things, but you got a Marine Corps captain for a dad.
That'll add to it.
Yeah.
So, you had a very unimpressed mother with your art.
Yeah, although she was very impressed. To be fair to her, she thought I was amazing. She still thinks I'm amazing. She just, was busy. So.
With her stories. I'm watching my stories, Katie.
She was actually making art constantly.
That's cool.
Yeah, so she was probably painting and
busy. Is she, and I don't mean this in any way other than curiosity, is she an actual working artist?
She has been She's kind of done like a side job for a minute now, but most of since I was in high school, that was her primary income.
That's
Wow.
like that's really cool to even know somebody like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause it's hard
Well,
to be
we
a
were very
working
poor.
artist. It's hard to be a working anything in this day and age, but
We were very poor. So I was I was like, that's not for me. I found out like you could either be very poor or if you became a successful artist, you had to like go to a bunch of parties and like rub shoulders. And I was like, no.
I feel like I could do that part of art. I just couldn't do the art part.
See.
Like I would be rubbing shoulders, be like, "Oh, have you heard about this new artist, Drew? Yeah." And then they'd like go and see my art and be like, "What is that fucking shit?"
See, when I was in film school, there was guys who were like, I could not sell my scripts because I love my characters too much, because my art means too much to me. I'm like, fuck that shit, man. Anybody comes to me with $10,000, I'm going to be driving down the, PCH with, fucking sell out blasting out my car and a smile on my face.
Yeah, I think I would sell out.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would sell out
Yeah.
pretty fast. Actually,
Hard.
speaking of selling out, if anyone wants, we have a Patreon. It's the 1 ounce pour, or it's patreon.com/the 1 ounce pour. You could buy us out and we will just talk about your product for an hour straight.
Oh, happily.
Yeah.
Happily.
It's $1 million.
You give me $50 and I'll talk about how great a dildo is. I do not give a shit.
We'll just be mutant Tom the whole time.
And this is
does it
great.
vibrate- yeah, that'd be great. That'd be a good show, though. Tom's.
Tom's dildo review.
Yeah. All right. So anyway,
Dildos
back
can
on
be
track.
hobbies.
It could be a
Yeah.
hobby. You could have a whole thing about it. Tom,
Yeah.
you've seen videos on people who that's their hobby.
Yeah, well, there's lots of videos out there. It's called OnlyFans, and when I get in better shape, we'll go on. I'll tell you where my OnlyFans is, and then
God,
I can
no.
pay for my kids' college with my penis.
The good news is I think you've been talking about that, and you're still not in good shape. So we're 3 years now. So
No,
I think we're
actually-
safe. I think we're
Well,
safe.
see, I was down to 215,
We don't need to go into that.
and
Katie,
then broke my knee.
back to your art,
I'm just
please.
going to say that OnlyFans is for everyone.
I-
And you don't need to change a thing. Just
Actually, there was
keep on there.
a guy
Just-
that me and Drew worked with. He goes,
No,
"Hey,
I
Tom,
don't. What?
yeah."
No, I don't want to know this.
Oh yeah, no, it was somebody that we know, and I will talk about it off air. But yeah, he was like, he goes, "Yeah, you can make a shitload doing the daddy stuff." I'm like, no, I'm good. Yeah,
All right. Anyway, should I clap? And that's for
Hey, come on, man. You're gonna be filming it because I need somebody behind the camera.
oh my god, no. So yeah, Katie, what has been your proudest art compilation, or like maybe a project that you've been working on, or just finished, or had finished in the past that you'd want to give us a little brag about?
Oh man, I don't know. Honestly, I wanted that to be my senior thesis in college, but I ended up being very embarrassed about my senior thesis. So
Oh no.
not that.
Well, are you still embarrassed by it?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
think
I mean, like, can you tell us what it was?
Yeah, it was. So there's this thing called vinyl cutter, which you might be familiar with. You like feed in a shape in a computer, and a vinyl cutter cuts it out of a big piece of vinyl sticker, and you can use it to make like stuff you stick on a car or whatever. And I
Is that kind of like a cricket then for the Utah audience?
What?
don't know what a cricket is.
It sounds a lot like that. That's why I was wondering if it's a smaller version of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like basically like it's like a printer, but instead of printing ink, it just like uses a razor blade to cut a shape
Oh, cool.
into a sticker, and so then you peel it off. And I made like stencils of a bunch of designs that were my drawings, which were of people and animals, and their heads were swapped, and they were based on real photos that I did not take. Then I stuck them up on the wall. And honestly, like at the time, senior in college, I was very depressed and going through a lot of family stuff. Family was all going to come to this. All of my real heartfelt art was basically like, this is my pain, and I did not want them to see it. So if my family had not gone, I feel like I would have made something cool. But because I had that, like, I don't want to hurt their feelings, I made this kind of like bubblegum, like boring art that my professors were not impressed with. I did not get honors. I showed up not prepared for my thesis statement. It was terrible.
I wonder how much art gets like nerfed because of that exact scenario.
Probably a lot. It's scary, like showing your honesty to people who don't know that about you, you know? Like the art that I made before that was actually some of it I was really proud of. So I think the one I was most proud of was I made this like 20-foot long necklace made of like these huge ceramic beads.
Oh, that's
that were
cool.
Probably about this big each, and I painted them and waxed them, and they made this huge necklace. I did a plaster cast of Bailey's chest and put the necklace kind of around it, and then it sort of hung and went up onto this pedestal, and it had like these weird big beads that were like cubes with little abstract sculptures on it. And then I also had these tiles that had my drawings and carvings, and it was kind of angsty, but mostly sort of abstract and weird. Oh, and some also casts of high-heeled shoes in ceramics.
Nice.
Cool.
So it was really, looking back, it was very much about gender and like feeling like weighted down by like feminine expectations. At the time, I had no idea. At the time, I was just like, yeah, cool necklace.
You're just like, oh, this is what I'm going to make. And then you look back on it and you're like, did I know something that I didn't know then that I know now?
So much art is like that. It'll take years for me to be like, oh, that's what that was kind of about. Like,
well, and it's funny because, you know, people always say like art's from the soul. And you're like, well, yeah, I'm sure it is. It's just more of like me making stuff. And then you look back on it and you're like, is it from the soul? Like, how did I figure that out? How did I make that creation without it being from some weird part of my subconscious, you know?
Yeah. I think when it's like you're not trying to sell it, then it can be a lot more free to do that. Like, if I'm thinking about like what do people want to buy, like it gets boring. Or like what do I want people to like, what do I want my family to see? It's boring. But if it's just like, I'm just going to play around, then it's like something happens and I'm just like, what's this? And then 5 years, 10 years later, I'm like, oh.
Oh,
that's what that is.
That's a bunch of repression. That's where it burst out of the seam right there. Okay. Now, when do you become aware of that, and do you put that in your art now? You know, obviously you're more grown up than you were in college. You've been able to find yourself a little bit more. You've been able to kind of go to some different places. What do you see coming out of it now that you're an adult and now that you're kind of honed your passion a little bit more?
Gonna be real. I have not done much art since being two bands.
Bum, bum. Okay. So the last time you did art, did you feel more mature in that art process, and you felt like now I get to kind of like spread my wings a little bit more and make it more of me?
No.
Oh. You still feel like you're repressed in that box, huh?
I think when I get back into it more, it'll feel better. A lot of what was great about college was that I paid a flat fee and they gave me access to all of these materials. As an adult, I have to buy my own materials.
That is the toughest part of any hobby.
Yeah. And I am so frugal. I have not let myself really buy a lot. So, yeah, I think the last ones I've been making have been more digital, where it's just on my phone. Those have been very fun, but I think they're more abstract and less expressive and angsty. They're just sort of like, this is beautiful sort of art.
Yeah.
Which is also cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So if you were to tell somebody currently that wants to get into art, how would you kind of handhold them through that process? Or what would you say would be the best first step?
I might share what an art professor shared with me, which was this letter to Ava Hesse that somebody famous wrote. Can't remember his name. It's like Just Do It. It's the original Nike thing, but
Nice.
It was pre-Nike. It was just like, don't worry about saying anything. Don't worry about it being good. Just like play around, see what happens. And like art is not about like impressing anybody or doing anything for any reason. It's just about having fun and entertaining yourself. Just start doing it.
Just start doing it.
Just start doing it and do it something that makes you happy. Because otherwise it's just like you can tell. You know, I had professors who would see my drawings and be like, you didn't like doing this. You liked doing this. Like they could actually see. It's like if you're invested in what you're doing, whatever it is, even if it's dumb and you think it's like not as cool, if you just like doing it, it just shows through and it's much more good, really.
Follow up on that. If you were to go back in time and your angsty college self was about to do her senior project, what would you tell your angsty college self?
Oh, I would say just stay with the clay.
Really?
I would say, yeah. I'd say, like, get over it, go back to the ceramic studio.
Okay. Like
Don't be lazy.
Make the piece, though, that maybe made somebody uncomfortable, or?
Yeah, definitely. I had such great ideas, but they were sad and about my family falling apart. But people didn't need to know that. Like, I didn't need to tell them. But I think my family members probably wouldn't even be able to tell. Like, they were just born out of that pain. And, like, I would definitely say, like, just do the sculptures, do the clay, just be weird, and don't worry about what your family thinks.
I like it.
Yeah.
Because fuck them.
Nice.
Okay, so has your hobby ever gotten you in trouble with art?
I mean, I did do some drawings that made my mom call me crying.
What were these drawings of?
They were of my dad. She was like very sad. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
she was just like, what is this about?
Explain the meaning now.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'd rather not. So yeah, I mean, it can be uncomfortable sharing on social media. No, I don't think it's really gotten me in trouble. Mostly it gets people telling me they're jealous of me and they hate me.
Oh, well, that's a
nice.
good. No one's
There you
done
go.
that about our show yet.
No,
so
not yet. No.
We'll get there. Don't worry. We'll be as famous as Katie
You'll get
one day.
haters.
Yes, that's honestly, if anyone's listening to this and just wants to hate on us for a minute, I would love that. That'd be really pleasant.
That's oneozpoorpodcast@gmail.com to send your hate mail to.
No, put it on our social media. Put it in front of the world to see, huh? We just learned that Katie flaunted her art in front of the whole world unabashed. So you got to flaunt your hate in front of everybody unabashed.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the
All
only
right.
way we're going to accept it. If you email it, we will then turn around and post it on our social media.
And we'll say thank you.
Good.
Yes. I can't wait
Yeah.
for haters. That's going to be so cool.
That is cool.
Unless
I
they
hear you're
cut too
famous
deep,
now.
because then I can't. I won't be able to handle it. If they're like, "Oh, Drew's kind of lispy," I'll be like, "No, I'm not. I've been working on it." Once they get personal, I won't be able to handle.
It's like Mulaney. 8th graders, they go right after what really is most effective. That's the thing I'm most sensitive about.
Yes, he's amazing live. By the way, if you have a chance to see him,
Nice.
He's phenomenal.
Did you see him?
I did. Yes.
Was it the most recent one or was it?
It
before?
was. It was after he got out of rehab, and
How was
it
great?
was phenomenal. It was basically, I mean, obviously there's tons of jokes in there, but it was more just him kind of opening up about his experience, and it was amazing. Yeah, I highly suggest going to see John Mulaney for sure.
Nice.
But that about wraps it up.
Cool.
Any other questions you got for her, Tom?
No, it's awesome talking to her.
Yes. Katie,
Yeah.
you were amazing.
Yo,
You are
Oh, thank you. You are
superb
too.
human being, and I'm super happy that we got you on the show. One, to represent females, because you came right out and said it. We've only had one, so maybe this will allow all my other female friends to actually want to join and not ditch last minute. So
I want to increase your viewer ratio too.
oh
Just,
yeah,
turn that out a
yeah.
little
Okay,
bit.
so in case anybody, well, nobody knows, so I'm just gonna say it. Bailey knows all the like secret backdoor ways of knowing who's viewing our show. And we were able to see the demographic of our show, and a lot of dudes. It's a full-on sausage fest listening to the 1 ounce pour. So
Yay.
yeah.
I will say I rarely listen to anything that doesn't have a woman on it.
Ooh, sexist.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
You know, you reverse the sexism, because before you're like, I don't listen to any rock music with women in it. And now you're like, I don't listen to a single podcast unless there's a woman on it.
I like it's nice to have them mentioned at least. It's good.
You know what? Beginning of every show, we should just say,
Fair enough.
for the ladies.
For the ladies.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Yeah, and then we'll be like, Katie says that we should say for the ladies.
This one's for the ladies.
This is for, thank you, Katie. Hashtag Katie says for the ladies. That's going to be our new Instagram. Yeah.
No, hashtag for the ladies.
Yeah,
Get
look
some
what you started.
Weirder followers
Look
there.
what you started, Katie. All right.
Listener or women listen for free.
Yeah.
Tonight
Listen
only.
for free. I don't understand that. I don't like that.
Get them in the door.
I know,
just
but that's
women
not
drink for free.
fair. I know, that's what I'm referring to. It's not fair. I can drink a lot. I want to be drinking for free.
No, you're not. You're not pretty enough, Drew.
Fuck. You know, like I said, the hating, I'm good with it until it cuts at a personal level. And you just saying I'm not pretty enough to get free drinks, that was it. That's like the lowest of the low.
That's what I'm most sensitive about.
I just can't get past it.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
It's not fair.
I know. I feel like just abruptly ending the show right now so no one hears me crying on air.
It should be like pretty people drink for free. Like, let's
Then
be real
that's even
about
more
it.
fucked up. What's Tom going to do?
Can't tell you how many times I was drinking for free when I was driving Uber, homie.
Wow. You know what?
Some Armenians that like me, I can tell you that much.
Just have to go straight for the certain races, huh, Tom?
Oh, yeah.
Just don't know. I feel like at this point we definitely need to end the show. Like we
And
probably
that's-
should end.
This has been the 1 ounce pour.